Teddy Feinberg, Brook Stockburger. It's our weekly Teddy and Brook show. This one's coming from Aggie Memorial Stadium for obvious reasons. Cruces, Mayfield, 1 p.m. Saturday. The whole enchilada is on the line. State championship game, Class 5A football state championship. All the town is talking about it. We do want to touch on some key points before we get into that. Hatch Valley also plays in the Class 2A state championship game against Clayton High School. That's on Saturday afternoon. Aggie basketball lost to UNM last night, 79-70. Aggies now 2-1 this year against their regional rivals. They'll go up to UNM 2 weeks from now in the pit. And of course, Aggie football ended their year with a W. They beat Idaho on this field last Saturday, 24-16. They finished their year 2-10. Idaho finished their year 1-11. Obviously, two programs that continue to struggle.
It's still great to go out on a win. No matter what you say, it's a cliche. But take a little bit of positive energy into the offseason.
Winning matters a lot. Even when it's against Abilene Christian, Idaho, it does in fact matter. We do want to get into the high school football game, though. That is the number one key this entire week. Brooke, what are your thoughts and feelings on this game? Obviously, Mayfield beat Cruces 28-20 earlier in the year for the district championship. That was considered an upset. Can they replicate that performance?
Yeah, it's so hard. Again, speaking of cliches, but it's so hard to beat a team twice in the same year, especially a rival. You see that at all levels, high school, college, pros, because especially a great team with great coaching like Las Cruces has, they go back and break it down into the minutia, what went wrong, what was different, how they have to adjust to everything. Right. So it's going to be a real uphill battle for Mayfield to do it. They obviously can. They showed they could do it the last time these two teams played, and they've had a decent run here through the playoffs. They had a really close game last weekend, and so they've kept their edge.
Well, I think obviously in sports, typically the losing team is the one that makes more adjustments. Obviously, if Cruces comes out and does the exact same thing, and Mayfield comes out and does the exact same thing, Mayfield's probably going to win again. I don't think Cruces played their best game. In classic Mayfield fashion, they have overachieved. I mean, they are penalty-free. They have been turnover-free. Their penalties have gotten better. That kind of seems to be their bread and butter, and I think when you don't beat yourself, you give yourself a chance.
No, you do. And, the interesting thing with Mayfield is I'm hearing from their practice is that they're not showing a whole lot of motion this week. They're just sort of keeping it even keel, that some of the parents were like, wow, why aren't they more fired up? But, Coach Bradley thinks maybe that's a good thing. This team is focused and this team is ready. They know everybody thinks that maybe they can't knock Cruces off for, 2 times in a row, and they don't want to have that last game. Because if they lose to Cruces, let's be honest, that last game didn't really mean much.
Well, I don't think they want to change up a whole lot at this point of the year. And I will say, these are two different programs. Coach Bradley runs a very tight ship at Mayfield, very structured. Not saying Coach Miller isn't like that. That program is just a bit looser. They're a little more freewheeling, and I have a ton of respect for both programs, and if there's better coached programs in the entire state, I have yet to see them. The point is, you can be different and be successful, and I think both these guys have found a formula for each one of their respective programs. I still think the deck is stacked against Mayfield. I like Cruces. I think it's going to be difficult for Mayfield to beat them twice in a row. The only way they're going to do it is if they hold them 20 points again. That was Cruces' season low. They drop 40, 50, 60 points every week on them.
Yeah, they sure do. They've just been moving through people like a knife through butter, like the saying goes. And it's going to be an interesting atmosphere. 20-some thousand are out for last time. They're hoping for even a sellout, 30-plus maybe this week. And it's going to be very interesting to see. The players have already played in front of that big crowd, so maybe you take some of that sort of pressure off of them that they're playing in front of so many people, but they are still going to be wound up.
I can honestly say if I was playing in front of 30,000 people and I was the quarterback, I would complete 6 of 30 passes for 58 yards and 6 interceptions. How do you play in front of 30,000 people? That's for a 17, 18-year-old? That's unbelievable.
That's a huge crowd for a high school football game. That'd be a huge crowd for an Aggie game. You just got to get those first couple hits out of the way, and then, then you're just in your thing. It's just like the scrimmaging on your home field. You just sort of block that out.
I'd be throwing the ball all over the place. I would be a wreck. I think from a personal standpoint, keys to this football game, again, Cruces' offense versus Mayfield's defense. Cruces has to score more than 20 points. If Cruces scores 40, 45, 50 points, they win this game in my mind. If they score 21, 24, 28, it's going to be a ball game. So I think that's key. And I think off of that, they got to get their running game going, and their sophomore quarterback, Cameron Miller, has to play a better game because he had a bumpy road the first outing. I'm taking Cruces in this football game. I think they make adjustments. I think they play better football, and I do in fact win. I have a ton of respect for Mayfield. It's nothing against them. I think they've had a great year. I just have thought in my heart of hearts, Cruces has been the best state team in state all season. Brook, I would love to hear what you think.
I agree with you in that it's going to be really hard for Mayfield to win this game. Not that they can't, but Cruces has been so good all year, and they have the one stumble against their home team, against their rival team here in Las Cruces. I really see Cruces coming out and trying to light it up. Cameron Miller's going to play a better game. But I'm going with my gut on this one. I think they're going to hold them to 20 again. Mayfield wins 21-20. Maybe a couple turnovers make the difference.
We would probably prefer to have split decisions anyway. I'm glad you said Mayfield. That covers our butt a little bit. And now whoever wins, we're both right. It's beautiful. Good job, bro. Check us out as always at Teddy Feinberg on Twitter, at B Stockburger on Twitter, our Sun News Sports Facebook account. We have a lot of content coming out leading up to the game. So follow us online, follow us on our social media sites. Check us out as always, and thanks for joining us as always. Thanks, folks.
See you next week.